Please Come Home for Christmas, written by Somewhat Human and read by Eleanor Elizabeth. Summary: Deku and Rhodey have been struggling with a long-distance relationship ever since the Fleckturn incident in Otheon. They call, text, and Skype all of the time. Now it's Christmas time, and the two of them would trade anything in the world to just be together on Christmas morning. Rhodey hopes that trade won't be too much for him to handle. The snow in Musatafu was the perfect background for Deku's weekly call with Rhodey. Otheon was only a few hours behind Japan, though their climate was too tropical for any form of snowfall. Lala is starting school again. I still have to go shopping with her for supplies, but she's so excited. That's wonderful! Deku smiled as he adjusted the iPad he was Skyping from in the small cafe. I hope she'll have a good year. Yeah, so do I. But what about you? Work studies, missions, classes, the usual. Deku looked outside at the tree that had occupied the plaza for the last month. It was Christmas Eve. What's Christmas like in Japan? Deku was pulled back into his conversation with Rhodey. Oh, well, it's kind of tradition to get KFC on Christmas morning, but this year, Mom and I are spending Christmas Day at Aizawa-sensei's house. KFC? Really? Rhodey laughed. Yeah. All right. Rhodey looked at something off screen. I have to go pick up Roro from a friend's house. Talk to you later? Yeah. Merry Christmas, Rhodey. Merry Christmas, Deku. Love you. Love you too. Deku watched as the Skype call ended, and he turned to watch the new layer of snow start to fall from the sky and sighed. Christmas was always a time for families to be together. Back when his dad was still around, it would be one of the only times that his father actually acted like one. The Christmas movies always made it seem like everyone is together and happy, but all Deku felt was sadness. He was sad that Rhodey was halfway across the world, and there was no way he or Rhodey could be with each other on Christmas morning. Deku heard his phone vibrate on the table and saw that Eri had texted him from Aizawa's phone. Hi, Deku! Dad Zawa and Dad Mike said it's okay for you to stay with us tonight. Deku read the text and laughed at Eri's name for his teachers. He texted back. Great, I'll be there around 5:30. She replied almost immediately. Yay! Oh, Dad Zawa says to bring marshmallows, if you can. Deku assumed she meant marshmallows. Can do. See you in a couple of hours. Deku collected his things from the cafe table and started down the street. He had to have his scarf close to his face just to keep warm, but other than that, the snow wasn't too bad. The rest of Deku's Christmas Eve was planned around getting last-minute stocking stuffers and going to Aizawa and Mike Sensei's holiday party that they host every year. Since the Midoriya house was almost as traumatized and dysfunctional as the Aizawa Yamadas, they had decided to combine households for Christmas. Not that Deku's mum minded. She loved Eri and Shinzo almost as much as she loved Izuku. Deku waited for the crosswalk light to turn green by looking up at the lights wrapped around the light posts. Musatafu always had a more Western-style Christmas decoration, due to the Hero Commission's headquarters and a lot of international agencies being in the area. The light soon turned green, and Deku continued down the street on a mission to get hand sanitizer, lotion, and a bag of marshmallows. All right. Rhodey looked at the clock on the wall of his family home. 3:05 p.m. I have to go pick up Roro from a friend's house. Talk to you later? Yeah. Merry Christmas, Rhodey. Merry Christmas, Deku. Love you. Love you too. Rhodey ended the Skype call and got up from the couch. He didn't have to pick up Roro from anyone's house. Both of his siblings were in their bedroom playing with their early Christmas presents. Roro! Lala! Rhodey called out into the hall, and his two younger siblings were out in the main room within seconds. Pino landed on Rhodey's shoulder as he began to squeak. Okay, do you two have everything? Yep, his siblings spoke in unison. Then let's go. We don't have much time before our flight. Rhodey, Lala, and Roro all left for the airport. It was Rhodey's hope to surprise Deku on Christmas morning. He had been saving up for months. Some of the neighbours and even his boss had pitched in a little to help with the flight cost. Rhodey hoped that the weather would allow their flight to take off. This is going to be so fun! Lala was working on her colouring book while they waited for the plane to take off. The flight from Otheon to America was going to take a long time. All Rhodey wanted to do was be with Deku by 6 a.m. the next morning. Thanks for picking up the marshmallows, Deku. Mirio opened the door to the Aizawa Yamada house. No problem. Deku walked into the house and he saw the party was already underway. Kaminari and Eri were making snowflakes with paper and glitter glue. Aizawa and Mike were cooking in the small kitchen to the side. Shinzo was reading a book next to the fire, critiquing Kaminari snowflakes and praising Eri's. Midnight and Deku's mother were drinking red wine while forming cookies at the dining table. Mirio went over to the living room where Eri and Kaminari were making their snowflake art. Eri, Deku's here! Deku! Eri ran up to Izuku and he opened his arms to give her a hug. Deku lifted her up and walked around the house saying hello to everyone with Eri in his arms. Izuku put Eri back in the living room to continue making snowflakes. Hey Deku! Hey Kaminari! Shinzo! Shinzo nodded politely before going back to the world of his book. Deku walked over to the kitchen to speak with his teacher. Is there anything I can help with, sir? No. Drinks are in the fridge and snacks are out on the table. Just relax, President Mike told him. All right, but if you need anything, just ask. Deku went out to the main room and started a conversation with Shinzo about the book he was reading. The snow was starting to fall more now, and the dark sky was filled with white flecks. Hey, Midoriya, Aizawa called from the kitchen. Can you get some towels from the hall closet? Yes, Sensei! Deku got up from his seat and started towards the hall in search of the closet. The hall wasn't that long, but the walls were lined with picture frames. Deku didn't think that Aizawa-sensei was the sentimental type, so he assumed the photos were from President Mike. Deku reached the closet and got some small kitchen towels from the shelf inside. Deku continued down the hall, and one photo caught his eye. It looked older than all of the others. It was Aizawa, Midnight, and Mike in UA uniforms with another boy with floating blue hair. He didn't look like any pro-hero that Deku knew of. Midoriya? Coming, Sensei! Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Flight 36B has been delayed due to weather conditions in Tokyo at the moment. A new flight time will be determined as soon as possible. The intercom sounded above Rhodey and his siblings. Damn, Rhodey whispered. They were delayed at a layover in Los Angeles. It was already 6 p.m. in Mustafu, and the flight from LA to Tokyo was going to take at least 9 hours. Rhodey, what are we going to do? Roro asked his older brother. Rhodey looked at the screen and saw the bright red letters, delayed, staring back at him. I'll be right back. Stay here. Rhodey got up from his seat and went to the woman who stood by the boarding desk. Ma'am, are there any other flights to Japan? Maybe, Kyoto? No, sorry. Usually people fly to Tokyo International and rent cars or further flights from there, the woman told him. I'm sorry. It's Christmas Eve. I'm trying to get to my boyfriend. Is there anything? Maybe check again. Sir, I'm sorry. There are no other flights. Rhodey sighed and went back over to where Roro and Lala were sitting. Rhodey stopped in his tracks. Roro and Lala were gone. Rhodey's brain went into overdrive. He scanned the entire terminal for his little siblings. They were nowhere to be seen. Shit! Rhodey ran into the throngs of people running around their respective terminals. Roro! Lala! Rhodey ran over to the kiosks and asked the cashiers if they'd seen Roro and Lala. Some of them had seen them, and Rhodey was just following where they pointed. Pino was frantically flying around Rhodey's head. Roro! Lala! Thank you for the dinner, Aizawa-sensei, Deku told his teacher as they were cleaning the plates. No problem, Midoriya. Eri would have killed me if we didn't invite you. Deku laughed a little. Well, I'm glad that she found a home. Of course, Aizawa smiled. Hey, Deku, Kaminari called out from the balcony. Want to help Eri make her first s'more? Deku looked at his teacher. Go ahead. I've got the rest of the dishes. The green-haired boy went out to the balcony where the rest of the party was chilling out with hot chocolate around a fire pit. Mirio was holding a metal skewer with 3 marshmallows on the end. But fire is dangerous, Eri said to Mirio. I don't want you to get hurt. Fire is dangerous, but with a stick we don't have to worry, Mirio explained to her. He looked up when he saw Deku enter the balcony. Deku! Hi! Are you going to make a s'more, Eri? Deku got down to her level. I don't want to. The fire will hurt Lemillion. Mirio shook his head. Eri was facing Deku and couldn't see him. Deku sat in a chair beside Eri. Well, since we have a skewer, it's far enough away that it won't hurt us. Mirio gave the skewer to Deku. Let Deku show you how to do it. I have to go call Sun Eater. Izuku nodded and put the tip of the skewer into the fire and waited for the marshmallows to get gooey. See? The skewer keeps the fire away. Deku pulled the marshmallows out of the fire. The top of one was still on fire, but sometimes it follows. Deku blew out the fire quickly. Now it's a s'more? Eri asked, looking at the blackened marshmallows. No, we have to add the graham crackers and chocolate for it to become a s'more. Deku giggled as he grabbed the paper plate with 3 sets of crackers and chocolate. He used the tip of the graham cracker to push the marshmallows onto the chocolate and close the s'mores. Here. Eri took a small bite of the s'more, and Deku watched her face light up in surprise. Wow, this is almost as good as the candy apple. Almost? Yeah, the candy apple is still the best. Mirio walked back out onto the balcony. Oh, did someone get rid of their fear? Yep! Eri smiled. Mirio and Deku both laughed as the 3 of them enjoyed their s'mores. Roro! Lala! Rhodey was still running up and down the airport trying to find his little siblings. He stopped when he reached a small crowd near a travel kiosk. Rhodey pushed himself through the crowd to see what they were gawking at. Roro! Lala! Rhodey pulled his siblings close. I told you to stay at the terminal. But Rhodey, look! Rhodey looked up to see a normal-looking man in a suit. Are these your kids, sir? No, they're my siblings. Sorry if they caused any trouble. That's fine. I always enjoy meeting my fans, the man replied. Fans? It then dawned on Rhodey that he was in the presence of a former pro-hero. Electplant! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Electplant just laughed. It's fine. I've been retired for a while now, so it's not a surprise anymore. Rhodey, Electplant said he was going to Japan too. What? Rhodey looked down at Lala, who was tugging on Rhodey's coat sleeve. You're going to Japan? Electplant looked at him. Yeah, we were. The flight got delayed. I was going to surprise my boyfriend for Christmas. We're long distance, so... Electplant was so encapsulated in Rhodey's story of how he planned to surprise Deku for Christmas. By the time he was done, the crowd had dissipated, off to their respective flights. Why don't you fly with me? What? I'm going on a private plane to my friend in Shizuoka. There's no snow there, and I can pay for a car to take you up to Mustatafu, the former pro-hero offered. No, that's too much. I couldn't ask that of you. Please, it's fine. If there's some way I can get someone to their loved one on Christmas, it would be my pleasure. Rhodey stared at Electplant for a moment before looking down at Roro and Lala. Pino was giddy with joy on his shoulder. Thank you. Deku sat in the living room of the Aizawa Yamada house. Everyone was in bed or close to doing so. He watched the last bits of fire dissipate into the fireplace as his knee bounced nervously. Come on, Rhodey. Deku looked at his phone every 5 minutes, hoping to have gotten a text from Rhodey, but nothing came. Hey, Deku! Eri shook Deku awake. He had slept sitting up on the couch. Aizawa says that it's present time. Oh, alright. Aizawa and Mike started to distribute gifts around the room. Eri, Shinzo, Deku, Kaminari, Mrs. Midoriya, everyone got at least one gift. Eri got the most, for obvious reasons. Deku smiled as everyone opened their gifts from him, and Kaminari couldn't stop smelling the Pikachu-themed hand sanitizer he'd gotten in his stocking. But the only thing on his mind was Rhodey. Deku's head turned towards the door as he heard what sounded like a small chirp. Did you hear that? Kaminari asked everyone. Was that a bird? Present Mike was looking for anyone who had heard the same thing. Aizawa and Mrs. Midoriya both nodded. Deku got up and walked slowly towards the door. He knew that chirp, the same sound that had woken him up so many days in a row while he was a global fugitive. A large smile grew on Deku's face as the doorbell rang. The green-haired hero in training threw open the door to reveal the boy that was on his mind all night. Rhodey? Zup. Thought that I would surprise you. Roro and Lala were giddy behind their older brother as Deku launched himself into Rhodey's arms. Oh my god, how did you even get to Japan? I had some help. Deku giggled as Roro and Lala went inside to say hi to Eri. They had met a couple months prior when Deku had to return to Otheon for another work-study assignment. Rhodey looked at Deku and smiled. Merry Christmas, Rhodey. Merry Christmas, Deku. Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Ella, and I hope you're having a lovely day today. Now, wasn't this just the most adorable Hallmark movie-esque shit you ever did see? So fluffy, so cute, and honestly, I kind of do low-key, ship Izuku and Rhodey. I think they're cute. I liked the movie. Did you see, World's Mission? I feel like not that many people saw it, because people don't talk about it that much. But I actually really liked it, and I'm starting the agenda, basically. I also like that they're all, round at, Mike and Ozawa's, and they're just, thriving. Look at them thrive as a little family. It's great content. But what did you think of the fic? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Talk to me about the fic. What did you think? What do you think about World's Mission? What are you doing today? I don't know. I just like to talk to you guys. It's a good time. You could also like the video, if you liked it, and to boost my serotonin levels. And you can also subscribe to be notified whenever I make new videos. I guess there's a bell and shit as well. I don't know what it does, but if you want to do that, you could also do that. You can also join the Discord. We have a great time over there. It's kind of hilarious. We've got movie night tonight, which is about to start. So I'm going directly from this. So if you're in the Discord and you were at the movie night, you'll see this afterwards. But sneak peek, I guess. Or I guess not sneak peek, because it'll all be too late. But just fun tips and things we do in Discord. But until I see you again, be sure to practice some self-care. You know what? I caught up on my sleep today. I got a lot of good sleep. So you better get some good sleep too, right? It's important. It's good for you, and you'll be thriving. So do that. Also, eat your 5 a day. It's important to get your fruit and veg in. You need the vitamins. Okay? Drink some water, because that's important too. Hydration is very important for the body. How else are you going to write a fanfiction if you have no moisture left in your body? Yeah, think about that. And yes, this is a threat. We'll catch you guys laters.